Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay. Very, very small gift for your birthday.
Jay, I'm sorry I'm not friendly right now. I will be.
No, you got to get your stuff done. Some of the town has got to wait.
I'm finally organized here. All right, it's nice to see everybody on this May. I hope all the women had a nice Mother's Day, doing planting, which is usually the tradition. Some of you may be lucky enough to have breakfast in bed. Even if your children are gone, your husbands or significant others may have taken you out for brunch, made you coffee, did laundry. I hear some chuckles. But anyway, welcome everyone. It is Tuesday, May 13th, and it is 9:48. And I'd like to call this meeting of the Kane County Board to order.
Allen? Arroyo?
We're here.
Bates? Berman?
Herman is here.
Doherty?
Are you?
Garcia? Gripe?
Right here.
Gums? Gums here. Iqbal?
Iqbal present.
Juby? Here. Pius?
Vice present.
Leonard?
Leonard here.
Lewis?
Here.
Linder?
Linder here.
Molina?
Molina present.
Hannes is here.
Roth?
Roth here.
Sanchez?
Sanchez present.
Strathman?
Strathman here.
Surgis? Tarver?
Harvard's here.
Tepe?
Deppie here.
Williams?
Here.
Young?
Here.
Pirog? You have quorum in the room.
We have a quorum in the room and Miss Molina and Mr. Doherty. I think that's all. Would like to come online. Do I have your permission to allow them to participate? Yes. So welcome, both of you. Okay, very good. Cheryl, could you please do the Pledge of
Yes.
Allegiance?
Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible.
And I believe you're doing the invocation.
Yes, good morning. In honor of National Police Week, I would like to draw attention to one of the premier people in our area, and that is Elgin's Police Chief, Anna Lally. I tried to get her to come here, but she's so busy with everything she does, she was not available. So I would like to read what Miss Police Chief Lally just received an award, a national award, and I would like to read about what she was honored with. Elgin Police Chief Anna Lally has been honored with the prestigious Axon Visionary Leadership Award, a national honor recognizing law enforcement leaders for innovative and community focusing policing. Chief Lally accepted the award last Tuesday during Axon's national conference in Phoenix, Arizona. She was selected for her transformational work in Elgin, guiding the department through unprecedented changes while advancing public safety with compassion, transparency, and forward-thinking initiatives. Lally, who began her 30th year with the department in March, has served as chief since 2018. She joined the Elgin Police Department in 1996 as a patrol officer and steadily rose through the ranks, gaining broad experience in law enforcement operations and leadership. Chief Lally embodies the leadership and character that law enforcement needs today, said City Manager Rick Kozel. She is deeply committed to both her officers and the community. She has the courage and wisdom to navigate the difficult conversations and necessary reforms that define modern policing. In 2020, amid a period of national civil unrest, Lally made headlines for walking alongside peaceful protesters at Elgin, an act she described as a personal and professional commitment to listening and building trust within the community. In a time of deep change, Chief Lally chose transparency, innovation, and community partnership. Her work in Elgin is not only transforming the department, it is setting a powerful standard for what policing can and should be. And I misread, it wasn't in a time of deep change, it was in a time of deep challenge. We ask ourselves, how can we do better? Lally said. That's the gift of this profession. Every day you get to try to make a real difference for someone. This award includes a $5,000 monetary gift that she is donating to the Elgin Police Union in recognition of the Elgin police officers' exceptional work. Reflecting on her career, Lolly said she's proud of the department's progress, but knows there's more work ahead. The Elgin Police Department is full of great people with good heads and good hearts. I'm honored to lead them, and will be striving to be better together. This leadership award is presented annually to a law enforcement executive who has positively impacted their agency and community through thoughtful leadership. Chief Lally's recognition highlights the strength of the partnership between the Elgin Police Department and the city's diverse community of nearly 115,000 residents. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention. And then I just have, in honor of everybody in Police Week and everybody, I have a very short anonymous prayer that I would like to read.
Absolutely.
We are mankind. Our precious gift is that we were all free to make choices. So let us pray to choose that which unites above that which divides, to speak words that bring hope and not arouse fear. Understand with compassion, be generous with praise, and nurture, not plunder, all in our sphere. To open our hearts to those who lack and take just what we need, not indulge in greed. To forgive those that hurt us, never act in revenge, and be patient, not angry, kind, not cruel. To shun all that is false and value the truth. To enjoy this beautiful, bountiful earth, our home, our refuge of immeasurable worth. If we give up our arrogance for humility, there may then be the possibility to heal our true constant Mother Earth, where we have our existence, where you've had our birth. Let us pray we choose well.
Very nice. Thank you, Cheryl. Well done. Lovely. I've had the opportunity to meet Anna, and she is truly an incredible woman, very soft-spoken and generous and of mind and thought and kindness.
We're very lucky to have her.
Indeed, indeed. And just to reverberate that, we have got an incredible array of police officers and deputies within Kane County. We are very, very fortunate for their kindness and their firmness, firm hand, which is what they need to be, have to be, mounting in the case of fear, where we're all cowering, seeking protection, and they are there ready to go in a moment's notice into the face of danger to protect us all. So God bless them all during Police Week, and God bless them for as long as their career maintains. So thank you. So now it's time for a public comment. I'm sorry, I always skip the approval of minutes, don't I? So, Mr. Caius.
Madam
Ready?
Chair, this is Caius. I would ask for a unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes from April 8th, 2025.
Okay, thank you, sir. Do I have your approval? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Now it's time for public comment. All righty. People speaking. We'll have a couple of speakers. We've got several petitioners that we'll be speaking on. And if you have come forward and told me you're going to be speaking on that issue, I will not be calling you now, but I will be calling you if you choose to speak during the time that your zoning petition is brought forward. So I don't have them in rank order of parents. 513. So Michelle, your name came up first, so why don't you come up, Michelle Betek?
I'm actually online, yes.
There you are. All right, ma'am, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Michelle Bettag, St. Charles. I've been coming to Kane County Board meetings for 2.5 years. I only want what's good for Kane County, along with most citizens. I live here, I love it. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of failed leadership in these 2.5 years. As you are looking at the 2026 budget, I strongly encourage that the actual previous year budget, the entire year be used, not 9 months, not 7 months of the previous year, but the entire budget for the entire year be used to compare the expenses. In August 2023, the responsible bidder ordinance was adopted. This, in my opinion, has been the big portion of the overspending in Kane County. This ordinance has created a huge problem. Not only is it restrictive, but it's not realistic. We pay over a third more for these unions doing these projects. It's been admitted by several county workers as well as elected officials that this is a huge problem as far as spending more money. This was, very encouraged and led by Chris Caius and Chair Parag to adopt this bidder ordinance. And it's been nothing but a huge problem for Kane County and our spending. Companies like St. Charles Family Flooring, who had been doing work in Kane County for 15 years, has now been eliminated from doing work in Kane County, growing our county's business, our revenue. That's a huge problem. A lot of these companies now being used are not only outside of Kane County, but they're outside of Illinois. What I see as a big problem is a lot of these companies that are winning these bidding projects are now giving back to people like Karine Parag in her campaigns. I would immediately suggest that a resolution be introduced that we go back to letting local contractors do work. They can be approved by the Kane County Roger Fonestock, whoever needs to be doing this approval. They can be registered, whatever it needs to be. But the amount of money that we are simply wasting on this union money is ridiculous. Lastly, I would suggest, I'm not saying that these departments are hiding money, but I think they're sitting on a bunch of money. Maybe we can do some discovery to find out how much money these people are sitting on. I strongly am against a motor fuel tax increase. Kane County citizens have had enough, and we do not want more taxes. We are paying the highest in the country. A balanced budget is a state
Thank you,
requirement.
Michelle.
We need to
Thank
look
you,
into
Michelle,
that
very much.
and don't use reserves to.
Thank Michelle, thank you.
Thank you.
Marion Nees?
I'm sorry, did you say Janine Mayer?
No, ma'am, I
Okay.
did not. It's
Okay.
Marion.
Good morning. My name is Marian Eyes, and I'm a Kane County Campton Hills resident for over 40 years. I have been coming to board meetings for over 2 years, and the last couple of meetings I attended were last month's finance and executive meetings. While listening to the challenges in the May 1st special finance meeting in balancing our budget to meet our present target, it was stated that postage costs for mail-in ballots was $2 million.
Point of order. Point of order.
You may consider looking at these costs. My research shows that up to 80,000 people in Kane County requested mail-in ballots in 2024. Even though bulk postage is at 0.571 cents was probably used, we can assume that at 73 cents, first class could have been used instead. 2 times that, including return postage, this would come up to less than $117,000. We understand there are costs such as printing and handling, but it should be investigated where the remainder of the $2 million is being spent. Thank you. We're trying to look to how to balance our budget. You may want to look into that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marion. Mayor Reed, you are going to be speaking on the petition, correct? Okay. And we have another. Okay. Bob McNeil? Oh, yes, Mo? Yes, I have that. Please. Oh, you're speaking both of you on the petition? Gotcha. Okay, very good. Mike McMahon as well. Oh, gotcha. Okay, this is all petition. All righty. Jean Meyer? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
McMahon, didn't you?
Oh, yes, go ahead, Mike, please.
Two items here. I'm going to speak first off as a citizen and a taxpayer, and then secondly, I'll talk as a township supervisor. When I listened to some of the last meeting here, I heard you speak about the budget, and we have very little debt or no debt at all, which leads me to believe as a citizen, why would we be asking for 60 or $65 million more? It seems like we have a very poor management of the money here in Kane County. So that's it for as a citizen. I'd like to see some things tightened up quite a bit, as many of the other people speak about as well. We spoke about the consolidation of government, which is going through from the governor's office, not going through, but it's being proposed. And it's truly not consolidation of government if you were to eliminate some things within the townships. The townships operate much more effectively. And I have a little issue with the board members seem to make a lot of decisions for the townships, yet you don't know what's going on in the townships. Only one board member has actually asked me, what's happening in your township? None of you have come over and said, what's going on in Plato? What kind of issues you have? What can we help you with? That just doesn't happen. And that should be happening. At one time, the board members were all made up of the supervisors of each township. Now that's some real consolidation. There'd be some real savings right there. But somehow we got away from that. I don't understand that. So I'd like to see each board member reach out to each township supervisor to find out what's really going on in each township rather than assuming things that are going on. We only have one board member that's going to be a supervisor. Well, so we got double dip Vern over there. Maybe he can inform you a few things. Take care.
Jean Mayer? There
She's
she is, Jean.
online.
Okay, thank you. At the last meeting, the idea of job attrition was raised. And while that's a step, it's not nearly enough. We are facing a $30 million shortfall, and the largest driver of this budget crisis is personnel costs. That's where the cuts must begin. We can't walk gingerly here. We need bold, immediate, and massive reductions. Roughly 130 people were hired during COVID. Hires funded by temporary dollars. That added nearly 15 million in annual cost. Now the federal funds are gone, but the payroll remains. With the declining population and the rise of automation and AI, there is no justification for a permanently bloated government workforce. A full hiring freeze must be implemented immediately, and a department by department review must begin to eliminate non-essential positions. This is not about being heartless. It's about being accountable. We are stewards of public funds and employers and not employers of convenience. The people of Kane County expect better. If we don't have the political will to reduce personnel costs, then we are not serious about fixing the budget. These cuts may be difficult, but they're necessary. The people of Kane County deserve a government that lives within its means. Thank you.
Jeannie Murr. Okay, Jeannie Meyer. Sorry. All right, there we go.
Resident X transgender. We get one day, July 4th, to honor our country, and 1 month, June, to honor Pride Month, and no days to honor the biblical family designed by God with one mother, father, and children. Vote no to Pride Month proclamation. Nearly 10 years ago, I felt compelled to stand in support of the transgender students who were being allowed to use opposite sex bathrooms in the schools. I hope you can hear the compassion in my voice for these precious young people. My support came not in the same direction the country was moving to, but in indignation that these transgendered students were being helped by affirming their mental health issues. As a master's prepared nurse, I checked out the many research articles testifying to the board showing how environmental pollutants from microplastics to synthetic birth control hormones were messing with vertebrate reproduction from fish to humans. It looks like this. Male turtles exhibit female behavior and have eggs in their testicles. I listened to numerous transgendered students testify, causing horrific, repressed memories to flood back. My adolescence causing overwhelming anguish. Putting those old memories into a whole picture for the first time, I experienced insomnia, hair loss, nausea, complete preoccupation with trying to hide what adolescence was doing to my body. By the end of high school, I'd gotten over it, remaining a quirky tomboy to this day. For such a time as this, I had been transgender. In 1971, I was called the sexless sixth grader. My peers commented not so nicely about my clothing, even my walk. I walked and dressed like a boy. The mental anguish over puberty was severe. There's no test for this condition, only subjective thoughts by the transgender person. So please do not dare to question if I was really one of them. I went through mental agony and I went through it alone. While sex change operations were available even then, there was no one to affirm my mixed up thoughts on my adolescence. No one appeared, even my amazing parents, to notice that anything was wrong. I was not affirmed, causing me to keep my body parts inside and out. I praise God I was not born in this time period. So many of these transgendered young people are finding that the reality of the many sex change operations, hormones, and hormone blockers do not fix the underlying mental issues, not to mention the adults who affirm that they can be the opposite sex, leading to the irreversible sterilization of our young people. I must speak out for these young people so much like I was. Mental health care, not affirmation, making these young people sterile and causing them to be patients, yes, patients for life, supporting the ever-growing trans medical
Thank you. Your
establishment.
time is up. Thank you.
What will you do?
Thank you. All right, Mr. Whittington.
Jim Whittington, 46-year Kane County homeowner. And I don't know if I'd be proud to say I've paid over $600,000 in real estate taxes since I've been here. And that doesn't count all the sales and excise taxes and gas tax. But anyway, I'd like to be polite and say good morning, but I think the more appropriate two-word greeting is wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee, okay? The era of big government is over. And we're seeing it at the federal level right now. You know, I attend some of the committee meetings and I hear about applying for a grant and everything like it's free money. That grant is just money being printed by the Federal Reserve. It's just more adding on to approaching $37 trillion of debt that my 18-month-old grandson's going to have to pay. So you guys need to get serious. You make the hard decisions now. Yeah, you have a surplus, but that surplus is not going to be there. You know, I look around and I see, like, I believe I'm correct in saying that there's new carpeting in this room. I've been coming for a couple of years. What was wrong with the old carpet? You know, I live in a 25-year-old house. There's some rooms I'd love to replace the carpeting in. Okay. I'm driving a 2010 Toyota Highlander that I keep maintaining. I'd love to get new cars. And then I see these ordinances on here for these resolutions. You're going to extend a carpeting deal with somebody, put down more carpet, okay? You're going to buy some new cars, maintain the old cars. You have to make the tough decisions now. You know, and it would be interesting. I got an ordinance for you. How about we pass an ordinance of 1% of the budget deficit gets paid out of your pockets, just you guys and the heads of the departments. You better believe you'd find the savings right now if you had to pay it personally. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mark Adaman. Mark, are you
Sorry,
online?
sorry about that. I always have problems getting
Okay.
my phone situated. Um, I I want to go over a couple things. Every time I come to these meetings, I want to talk about certain things and I get sidetracked because of all the issues that you guys bring up. One, I don't like that we bring up religion over and over and over again. They are not taxed at all. So why do they get say in our government? Everybody should be upset about that. Everybody. Now you're talking about big government. That's great. Everybody that is on a board or whatnot that's a employee of the county, there's something called use it or lose it budgeting. There's something called incrementalism. There's something about your wages, they're always going up to go ahead and counter inflation. So people got to understand that when you're looking at a budget from this year, it's different than last year. People are expecting to make more money to counteract inflation. Now, I keep hearing different things like people bring stuff up about transgender stuff, and I have to write notes about this. That's a federal issue. Bring that stuff up to the federal government. There is zero that you at the local level are going to be able to press forward. Other things that you could do as far as budgeting goes, something called term limits and campaign finance reform. Everybody here complains about everything. I can complain about the weather being too cold, it being too hot outside, too wet outside. There are certain things that you can do with your votes and to press out to the boards here. Is that if you had a term limit on your position and campaign finance reform, you would think differently about how you are conducting yourself. And that's an absolute fact. I went to college for I have a master's degree in public administration, and when I come in these meetings and I listen to the average person talking to the board members, I'm very disturbed because they don't even understand how the political system works. They watch Fox News. I definitely thank you so much for your time, and every time I come here, I am a little bit more disturbed. Churches should be taxed. Let's just not joke about it. They want say in our government. Pay taxes, you get a say. Remember that. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. Next speaker is Dan Spellman.
Good morning. Last month, I shared my thoughts on the importance of this board working to find common ground and navigate our financial realities in a respectful and solution-oriented way, what I referred to as being part of Team Normal. As I said then, I believe that most residents of Kane County are members of Team Normal, people who may hold different views, but still value facts, dialogues, and mutual respect. But unfortunately, we must acknowledge not everyone will choose to be part of Team Normal. At last month's board meeting, one speaker, who was a board member, referenced the supposed benefits of DOGE and suggested that Kane County adopt similar strategies in our budgeting process. While I appreciate anyone stepping forward with ideas, I was concerned when it became obvious that several of his claims were factually incorrect. For example, he stated that Social Security Administration had issued small business loans to minors. And that would be true if the SBA program he referenced was associated with the Small Business Administration, which is responsible for handling small business loans. But the example he gave, SBA referred to survivor benefit annuities, payments made to the children of deceased service members. These are not loans, they are benefits for orphans. He also cited that people over 120 years old were receiving Social Security benefits. While that sounds alarming, the truth is more technical than scandalous. Much of the Social Security Administration's infrastructure runs on legacy COBOL programming, which can lack modern date formats. So what does that mean, you ask? It means that the younger DOGE programmers, who apparently are unfamiliar with the concept of legacy systems, have misinterpreted the data. This has led to confusion, not fraud. These examples highlight a serious issue. When inaccurate claims are made publicly and left unchallenged, they distort the conversation. They derail a meaningful progress. So now, after repeating this misinformation, that board member's credibility is compromised. And therefore, any future contributions he might make for the county's problems is at risk of being dismissed. So why do I bring this up? Because for a dialogue to be productive, we have to start with a shared commitment to facts. When that foundation erodes, it becomes much harder to solve the problems together. I still believe in the promise of respectful disagreement. That's what Team Normal is all about. My hope is that the majority of the board will continue to lead by example, focusing on real information, listening with discernment, and modeling the kind of mature, solutions-focused leadership that our community deserves. Thank you.
Thank you. Last speaker, I believe, is Brian Anderson.
He's in the back row. Good morning, Brian Anderson, Sugar Grove. Well, this is the second full county board meeting since the election 41 days ago. There should be a strong sense of urgency. It's been 35 days since the last time you met here as a full board body. I would encourage everybody to go back, if you have not done so already, and review the Finance Committee meeting on 4/23, on 5/1, and the last Executive County Board meeting on 5/7. It is very clear and it's very apparent that, and these aren't my words, these come from the likes of the Executive Director, Kathy Hopkinson. These come from the talking points of several Democrats on the board, which I respect. There is no leadership. There is no leadership in the Finance Committee. I can take each and every one of you back in December when it was voted. They wanted Jared Sanchez to be the new finance chair. The board, it was 13-9, should have been done. It was overruled. Here we are today. There is no sense of urgency. The budget needs to be addressed. I'm calling for the resignation of Dale Berman on the Finance Committee. I don't know if the board can go back and redo what they voted on. If not, then the way the committee stands now, Bill Leonard is the vice chair. He should be either elevated to that position. We have a sense of urgency, ladies and gentlemen. I've been given documents that are staggering to me that we should have had some things done already, but they continue to be put off agenda. Now, who puts things on the agenda? That would be the chairman of the board. So I'm scratching my head why we're in constant turmoil about having a balanced budget when some fair-minded Democrats and some fair-minded Republicans have brought some ideas to the table and they don't get put up for a conversation. I'm staggered with that. Before I leave, I know that we had the Dunbarry strategic planning. I think that was approved. That's $127,500. So I'm looking for one of the board members today to bring that up. Have they been hired? If they have, their sole mission, only one mission, strategic planning to help Kane County balance the budget. Thank you very much.
That does conclude our public comment. Yes, sir.
Here at 8:30 and signed up to make a public comment.
Yes, he was.
Madam Chair.
He may have said on the Forest Preserve.
Preserve.
It was probably on the Forest Preserve.
I know he was there signing. I saw him.
I'm to speak.
Please go ahead. Just go ahead.
Thank you. To be brief. The American poet Henry David Thoreau said that the mass of men.
For the record, please name.
Oh, Ed Marth, St. Charles. The poet Henry David Thoreau said that the mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. That's still true today, probably more so. When it seems to me that so many lies are taken as truth. Truth seems to be scarcer than rare earth minerals that people keep talking about. But it's your job, and by the way, I know that people don't like to be should upon, as opposed to as in you should do this and should do that, but then that's the point of this open meeting, I guess. And I would encourage you all to stay with the pursuit of what is truthful. A lie intentionally told today is always a lie. Something that may be told today that may not be actually true, but people believe it is based upon their own research, can be changed. And keep an open mind. The truths were told about the need for the small income tax, where the exemptions were made for drugs and food and expensive cars. All cars are expensive. And to the gentleman before, my car is 10 years old. I pay $200 tomorrow morning just to find out what's wrong with it. The light goes on. And so we're in a different time. Prices have gone way up. And I think that your job is really managing the resources of the county as best you can. I don't think you can avoid the question of what happens with law enforcement, given what was told to the voters earlier, or you'll be in the same trap that we had the lies from Vietnam, the lies from Twin Towers, where they said that the first responders would be taken care of. Now that's going away. So many things where people lose confidence in the people who they elect to represent them. I have not lost confidence. I'm just saying, don't you lose your confidence in the ability to do the right thing and to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you. So I do believe that does now conclude our public comment, and I don't have the list. I have no idea, but if you'd like to go up and speak. And is there anybody else who signed up that I don't have your name? All right, so this will be the last speaker.
Thank you. That was very gracious. First thing I want to say is, and I just, Mavis Bates, Kane County Board, and I live in Aurora. I made a mistake when I gave my talk at the Finance Committee on May 1st, right? The cost of an election is $2 million, not the postage. So I got that wrong. It's not $2 million. That would be a lot of stamps. It's the entire cost of the election. Okay, but what I really, so very sorry. But what I really want to talk about today is the value of solar fields here in Kane County and in all of Illinois. Solar energy helps us clean our air by reducing emissions from fossil fuels, and it helps us to mitigate climate change. If you're not that enthusiastic about keeping the world from getting too hot and possibly not livable, you might want to talk about the way that solar fields can save money for people like you and me, consumers. Some of these fields are being turned into community solar, which means that people like you and me can sign up for, can be subscribers to community solar and save 10% on our electric bills. So solar fields in our area can save our green environment and save our green money. CEJA was passed in Illinois in 2021. That's the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. And it set very bold goals for how much solar we would install in Illinois and wind, renewable energy. The goals are include 100% clean energy by 2050, which means I have to live to be 102 to see those goals happen. I was born in 1948, but so a goal is 100% clean energy by 2050. 50, but our goal for right now is 40% clean energy by 2030. And we are today only at 13, well, this number came from 2023, so we're probably a little better, but we're at only 13.5%. So out of a goal of 40%, we're at 13.5%. So please remember the value, the incredible value of these solar fields here in Kane County and in Illinois. And if we want to make a healthy and livable future for ourselves, our children, and our children's children, remember the best Happy Mother's Day is one where we take care of future generations. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, that does now conclude our public comment. And I would like to thank all the speakers who took time out of their day to come and address the board. Your voices are always heard, and we mean that sincerely. So now we go on to our proclamations, which is kind of a joyful time because we get to recognize some either great individuals or great organizations here in Kane County. Just so the constituents know, this is board directed. They will oftentimes bring this forward for this proclamation. It may be in their district, it may be countywide, and the board member who brings this forward helps to craft and have input into the proclamation. So this is very personal for them, and that's why oftentimes we choose that individual who brought that forward to actually speak to that proclamation, unless it's a organization, and then oftentimes then we go directly to the head of that department or that committee, which is going to be the case this time. So the first proclamation is going to be recognizing Steve Pitstick. He is a well-respected farmer here in Kane County, and I'd like to turn this over now to Leslie Juvie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the 2025 proclamation recognizing, Steve, you want to just come stand up?
There he is.
See this
There
one?
he is, Steve. Steve, come on up all the way. Come on. There you are. I'm glad to see you.
We're recognizing Steve Pitstick as a Master Farmer Award recipient. Whereas the Master Farmer Award was introduced 100 years ago in 1925 by Prairie Farmer Magazine to honor Illinois farmers who exhibit excellence in agriculture production, strong commitment to family, and exceptional service to their community. And whereas farmers, agribusiness leaders, and agricultural extension specialists throughout the state nominate candidates for this award to recognize Illinois farmers beyond their farming skills. And whereas Steve Pitstick of Maple Park was nominated by the Illinois Soybean Association. And whereas Mr. Pitstick currently raises corn and soybeans with his son on his Kane County farm and serves as an advisor to agricultural technology companies. And whereas Mr. Pitstick graduated from the Illinois Ag Leadership Program, served as chair of the Illinois Soybean Association, participated in the Illinois Ag Leadership Foundation and Agriculture Leaders of Tomorrow, served as a soy ambassador and Kane County Farmland Protection Commissioner, and has played a role in developing a Kane County Economic Development Corporation. And whereas Mr. Pitstick becomes the third Kane County farmer to win Master Farmer Award, Eldon Gould in 1982 and Mike Kenyon in 2014. And whereas the Kane County continues to support agriculture as a cornerstone of the economy, culture, heritage, and essential food resource for both local and global communities. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Kane County Board does hereby recognize Steve Pitstick for his extraordinary contribution to farming, his family, and his community, and congratulate him on his 2024 Master Farmer Award.
Oh, very good. So Steve, could you tell us a little bit about your business?
Sure. Steve Pitstick, thank you very much for this proclamation. It truly is an honor. I am a lifelong resident of Western Kane County. Grew up in Virgil, have been farming 50 years this year. Anita we went to school together. That's good or bad, but we went to grade school together. But yeah, 50 years in agriculture in the western part of the county. I've been involved in King County Farm Bureau for about 30 years and leadership there. Have been involved with county, interacting with the county for about 25 years, farmland protection, economic development, many other committees. Farm right now, just corn and soybeans with my son. I have 3 kids. My middle son chose the farming career, so he is mirroring me in things and involved in Farm Bureau too. So it's a great honor for this award. I thank you for it.
Oh, thank you. And we're going to get a picture of you.
Need more coffee or one?
He's working. Somebody's got.
Oh, yeah.
Or we can do some. Yeah.
Your bike today? Where's your helmet?
Chris would love to see me on that. I've been asking him to give me a ride and he refuses. So obviously, the next one has personal meaning for me. And before I hand this over to Vern Tepe to talk about the Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month and recognize the BATE for their efforts in that. When I was first running for office several years ago, I was introduced to a BATE and I was pro helmet, which I still am. And I bring that up because I have grown to not only respect and learn, and actually I am now a member, and I've been a member for about 8 years of a BATE, to honor the work that they have done with motorcycle safety, not only here in Kane County, but throughout the state of Illinois. They continue to train and advocate for motorcyclists. They are a brotherhood and a sisterhood coming together to help each other out, to make sure that our youth, when they get on a motorcycle, know to handle such a powerful machine with safety so that they get home safely to their parents. They're advocating for safe roads, and something that I know we can all get behind, and we all maybe have done from time to time, is texting while driving. I have stood with them in the rain. I have stood with them in the heavy wind, handing out signs and literature, encouraging people to put their phones down when they're driving. Because I don't want to see them or any of us get into an accident with something that could have waited for a few minutes. Nothing is that important. And if it is, pull off the road. So this is something that I respect. Not only do I respect them and their work, but the charity they have. If you've ever been to one of their toy runs, which starts out in Elburn, and you end up at the racetrack, you'll see truckloads of toys given to children who are in need. And this is not just a one-time event. They have charitable runs throughout Illinois, throughout the year. So we may have some disagreements. Some of us may be pro-helmet, a helmet at all cases. They are not against helmets, but they are getting the opportunity to make that choice as an adult. I would not get on a motorcycle without wearing a helmet, but I can't say that I would get on my own bicycle and insist that I would have a helmet on. And other people would argue with me that as well. But we do make our own choices. So with that, thank you for the opportunity to say a few words about my fondness for this group and the people who manage it and chair it. And Chris, you're here. So if you want to come up, please. And Mr. Tepe, could you read the proclamation for us?
Thank you, Madam Chair. While Chris is walking to the podium, I was with Chris last night when he received a.
Could you get closer to your microphone? There you go.
I was with Chris last night when he received a similar proclamation at Elgin Township. A proclamation proclaiming May 2025 as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month in Kane County. Whereas the safety of our highways and streets is the highest priority for both Kane County and the state of Illinois. And whereas motorcycles serve as a primary, common, and economical means of transportation, helping to reduce fuel consumption, alleviate road wear, and ease traffic and parking congestion. And whereas it is vital that all citizens of Kane County remain aware of motorcycles on their roadways and recognize the importance of motorcycle safety. And whereas Abate of Illinois, Inc., a brotherhood aimed toward education, actively promotes motorcycle safety, education, and awareness through high school driver education programs and outreach efforts to the general public, reaching over 120,000 participants across Illinois in the past 9 years. And whereas all motorcyclists are invited to join Abate of Illinois, Inc., in advocating for the safe operation of motorcycles, promoting motorcycle safety, education, and fostering respect among all road users in Kane County and throughout Illinois. And whereas motorcyclists in Kane County have made contributions through volunteerism and charitable donations to national and local organizations. And whereas during the month of May, all roadway users are encouraged to unite in the shared responsibility of safety using roadways within Kane County and throughout Illinois. And now therefore be it proclaimed that the Kane County Board does hereby recognize May 2025 as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month in Kane County, Illinois. Thank you. Chris?
Chris.
Thank you.
So number one, I love the vest. I think you should wear that all the time. But thank you to Vern and Madam Chair, to the Kane County Board. I'm Chris Hansen, President of Duquesne Abate. Our chapter represents the state organization in DuPage and Kane County. Kane County has obviously been a longtime supporter of ours. And what we do is we advocate for the freedoms of motorcyclists and their rights to choose, as you spoke of, but more importantly, bringing safety and education to our communities. And one thing that I'm very proud of our chapter is one thing that we do is we go to local schools and speak to new drivers, students about motorcycle awareness and seeing us on the roads. And our chapter has led the way every year. Last year, our chapter spoke to over 5,000 students between Kane and DuPage County. And this year alone, we're already at 3,000. So we're doing that work, and I'm very proud to say that we've received, like he said last night, Elgin Township, Hampshire, Mayor Reed, Elburn, and St. Charles, Geneva. We've received over 35 motorcycle awareness proclamations this month, and it continues to grow. So I truly appreciate this. And obviously, we'll continue to advocate for motorcyclists, and we definitely appreciate the support.
Stay there, Chris. We're going to get a picture.
Madam Chair, as a point of order, I don't think we had anyone make a motion for either of these proclamations. You
So
don't need
let's-
to.
Let's do the motion. Let's do the motion. Mr. Sturgis, you want to lead us in the motion to approve the two proclamations?
I do. Do you want me to read them?
Just the titles of them and to make a motion in a second to approve them.
I only have one of them on here proclaiming.
Madam Chair, Gums.
Hold on, Mr. Sturgis, do you have one of them or do you want to defer to Ms. Gums?
I'll defer to Ms. Gums.
Okay.
Kenneth, you're welcome. I would like to move 25,507 and 25,492.
Second?
Second, Linder.
Yes, Ms.
Can we do
Judy?
them separately, please?
Yes, I
We
agree.
can do them separately. So why don't you start with the first one?
I will amend it to move 25,507.
Okay, and who did the second?
Roth will second that one.
Mr. Roth. Call the roll, please.
Allen, Arroyo,
Oh, yes.
Bates, Berman,
Yes.
Doherty,
Oh, yes.
Garcia, Gripe,
Gripe, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
I.
Caius,
Dice, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Hennessis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surgis,
Surgis, yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepi,
Seppi, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young,
Yes.
Purok,
Yes. But I don't have to vote. I don't vote.
Madam Chair, Surgis will move proclamation for TMP 25-492 proclaiming May 2025 as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month in Kane County. And Chris, is he still here? Or did he walk out?
He's gone. I'll second the.
I am one of the board members who has ridden multiple times on the toy run out to Sycamore, and I believe Mr. Kenyon was also one of the other board members that has ridden.
Mhm.
So
So good to see you there.
I got room on the back next year, so.
Good, 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 good. good. What a team. So, do we have, who second that?
Hennessis.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr. Doherty, yes, do you have a question on this comment?
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
As a long-standing member of debate, and once again, I must vote no on these proclamations that give us a month. I rode my motorcycle round the calendar, 24 years, on, off, winter, whatever. I don't want safety just for 1 month. So I'm a no. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Doherty. Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Iqbal.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I beg to differ with you on some of the comments that you made. Abate is on record to oppose helmets. And they quote that they make no difference in fatalities and injuries. And this is from their website. They oppose the House Bill 3783. So because of that, I will be voting no.
That is your choice, sir, absolutely. Any other comments? So with that, clerk, call the roll.
Allen, Arroyo, Bates, Berman, Doherty,
Already know.
Garcia, Gripe,
Right, present.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, no.
Juby,
I.
Caius,
Dice, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Hennessis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman, Surgis,
Happily, yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepi,
Seppi, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young,
Yes.
approved.
Okay, very good. Thank you all. So that ends our public comment. I just have a few words. I won't be long. I was very moved after the recent death of Pope Francis. He was a great leader, and I don't want to go into religion and faith, but what I do want to go into was compassion and understanding for human beings, which he did brilliantly, in my opinion, and did well. Needless to say, we all have our faults and things always could be done better in hindsight. But when the cardinals came together in their conclave to choose a new pope, what struck me and what echoed throughout the world is bringing together 170 plus cardinals who spoke different languages, different beliefs in their faith, different concerns about their communities, quickly came together in a very short period of time and reached consensus. And by doing that, they ensured stability and long-term planning for their church, and more important, social cohesion and shared values, which leads me to Kane County. Right now, we have a storm that is facing us from federal government, and I'm not going to go into political details with that, but there is economic insecurity that has happened, not on the finances of the United States, but in the business sector, because things change all the time. Product development is changing. Our place in the world is changing, and people have grown concerned. Consumers, our community has grown concerned, and we've heard their voices about prices going up and how that impacts us. We've also talked about how since prices have gone up and the CPI is going up, we also should reflect on how we pay our own staff and the costs of our own goods, because we're not isolated in that. But nonetheless, very much like the Cardinals, I would encourage all of us, and I've spoken on this before, to come to consensus with each other. We are in the state of having some new economic development growth here in Kane County. I was at a meeting yesterday where a major builder was interested in continuing building here in Kane. And I asked him and his staff why they chose Kane. And I was told, and this was in one of the communities here in Kane, that because they know what they're doing, they like to work with us. They're steady, they're secure. And that is something that everyone looks towards their government. Steadfastness, security, no dramatic swings in either direction. I call it the turtle pace, slow, steady movement forward to a collaborative choice where everyone has a voice. And it's really hard. I mean, that is really, really hard. Anybody who's been in a long-term marriage knows the challenge of that, but this is not that. But it is very much like that because it's based on personal values and decision-making. So please, we need to foster agreements among diverse stakeholders. We need to keep our political interests and beliefs that enhance our economic development, because that is the place we live, and we want to make sure that we leave a sound place and values for our children. We can't have division because division will hinder our growth. I think we all know that. Go back to your own personal businesses in your life. Sometimes you have to walk away and just cool down and come back to the table with clearer minds. Division will delay opportunities and create economic uncertainty. The late Pope Francis stated, "We must learn to walk together, building bridges rather than walls, and seeking collaboration rather than confrontation." These are words of wisdom I think we can all lead by, that are just wisdom, not religious at all. And I know it can be very hard for all of us. We're human beings. Someone says something, we want to snipe back. But let's really try to work together because we have to resolve how we're going to fairly and equitably for the future tackle this budget crisis that we have put ourselves in, the economy has put ourselves in, and the need to have additional community support has put ourselves in. We need to trust each other. The community has to allow us to trust each other. It's what we've been elected to do and what our constituents really expect of us. So those are just my thoughts and the impact, really thoughtful impact I had about what happened at the conclave and the nomination of our newest Pope, Pope Leo the 14th. On another completely different topic. Previously, I've spoken to many of you, I think all of you, about the upcoming sesquicentennial. Now I'm excited about because this is probably going to be the last big celebration that I may see in my lifetime for the United States. So yeah, I feel like a little kid. Let's plan a 4th of July party kind of thing. It's fun. So I've talked to some of our department heads and they have volunteered some of their staff, but I really would like to get your input on what a potential idea we could have and how we're going to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States. So if any of you would like to join this little ad hoc committee, please call Jane and we'll put together a time to meet. If we have more board members, we'll have an open meeting, of course, and if less board members, we can do it a little bit as a subcommittee of this committee, and they can bring back their recommendations. We have 3 or 4 people who are either staff or community members who have already just independently reached out and said they'd like to help. So I think that'll be a good guide for us, but let's take some time and figure out what we want to do to celebrate this very momentous occasion in the United States and for Kane County. So just call Jane and say if you want to join, and we'll get back to you. And of course, all decisions will be made. And the other reason is that there's maybe a budget to this. So we have to figure out what this opportunity may cost and how we can plan for it. So thank you so much. So that concludes my comments. And now we're moving on to our consent agenda. Oh, Mr. Doherty, yes, sir.
I just want to point out once again, your job is to run the meeting, not take time out of the meeting to spew your Democrat lies. The CPI is down. Fuel prices are down. Grocery prices are down. So don't get up there and say they're up and we have to worry about everybody not being able to afford anything. Your job is to run the meeting.
Mr. Doherty,
Please
thank you so
refrain
much. I
yourself
appreciate
to
your
just
comments.
that.
That's Mr. Doherty, thank you. All right, we are now moving on to our consent agenda. Would anyone like to remove an item from the consent agenda? I see none. May I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
Madam Chair Gums,
Yes, Ms. Gums?
I will move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you.
Roth will second.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. There's no further discussion. Clerk, call the roll.
Allen,
Aye.
Arroyo,
Oh, yes.
Bates,
Bates, yes. Berman?
Doherty,
Oh, yes.
Garcia, Gripe, Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Aye.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Bush, yes.
Linder,
Yes.
Molina, Molina, yes. Hennessis, Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
Yes.
Tarver,
Carver, yes.
Tepe,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
All right, very good. Good timing. Oh, my gosh, Mr.
Nick of
Frank,
time.
welcome. Were you waiting for that grand entrance? No. All right, we are now, we're going to be going to executive session. So may I have a motion and a second to move into executive session to discuss settlement of claims?
Roth was second.
Who
Bates,
moves?
Bates.
Bates, Ms.
Bates.
Bates? Clerk, please call the roll.
Allen, Arroyo,
Oh, yes.
Bates,
Yes.
Berman, Doherty,
Oh, yes.
Gripe,
Right, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Yeah.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Yes.
Molina, Molina, yes. Hennessis,
Hennessis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
Yes.
Tarver,
Carver, yes.
Tepe,
Debbie, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
approved.
All right, we are now going into executive session. Everybody, I ask you to make sure you take your personal belongings with you. Back.
All right, everybody online, please accept your invites to go into closed session. Be aware we are live streaming. I will let you know when we are successfully in the closed session. Accept those invites. A reminder to those in the room, you must also accept before we can go into the closed session. Thank you, everyone.
Maybe we'll be out of here earlier.
Yeah.
So we can only hope, right?
That's good. But thanks.
I have one individual in the room that has not accepted their invite. If you are logged into the meeting, sitting in this room, you must accept your invite.
What's it mean?
Can't find it.
Is there anybody hearing my voice online that feels they should be in the closed session and did not get an invite?
We're not missed.
John.
Nice,
Board.
Hey, I was really sorry.
To make one of those too. Would you be willing to send me the digital version of that?
Yeah.
I won't leave your name on it though, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Closed.
Fortunately, it's been.
I did. Very, very much.
I know, I'm just sitting here thinking. "Oh,
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, could we all have our seats, please?
Not avoid it. Anyway.
And when you're ready, let's call the roll.
Allen. Arroyo.
Yes.
Here.
Bates.
Are you?
Berman.
Here.
Doherty. Garcia. Gripe.
Right here.
Gums. Gums here. Iqbal. Juby.
Juby here.
Caius.
Caius, present.
Leonard.
Leonard here.
Lewis. Linder.
Under here.
Molina.
Molina present.
Penesis. Roth.
Roth here.
Sanchez.
Sanchez present.
Strathman.
Strathman here.
Surgis.
Present.
Tarver.
Harper here.
Tepe.
Tepe here.
Williams.
Williams here.
Young.
Here.
Pirog.
I'm here as well.
Forum in the room.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to turn this over now to Rick Williams. We're on to our zoning petitions. Yes, whoa. Oh, settlement of claims, yes. Back to the settlement and claims. May I please have a motion, a second, to approve the settlement in case number 24 WC 026596 in the amount of $9,429.57.
Sanchez moves.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Second.
Penesis second.
Thank you, Mr. Penesis. With no further discussion needed, clerk call the roll.
Allen.
Aye.
Arroyo.
Oh, yes.
Bates.
Bates, yes.
Berman. Doherty.
Oh, yeah.
Gripe.
Right. Yes.
Gums, yes. Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Juby.
Juby, aye.
Caius.
Caius, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Linder.
Linder, yes.
Molina.
Molina, yes.
Penesis.
Penesis, yes.
Roth.
Roth, yes.
Sanchez.
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman.
Strathman, yes.
Surgis.
Yes.
Tarver.
Tarver, yes.
Tepe.
Tepe, yes.
Williams.
Williams, yes.
Young.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, very good. All right, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have two matters, zoning petitions before us this morning. Both are the same petitioner and just different properties really close to one another. The first one is TMP 25-485, petition number 4654. The petitioner is Robert McNeil on behalf of Rutland East Solar Farm LLC. It's for 40 acres located at 16N 845 Ranking Road in Hampshire in Rutland Township, parcel number 02-19-200-007. The proposed use is a special use permit in the F farming zoning district to allow for a commercial solar energy facility. The 2040 plan designates this property as commerce employment. The objectors are the Village of Pingree Grove, the Village of Hampshire, and there were a couple of property owners who spoke out at the Development Committee. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval with stipulations. The Development Committee recommended approval with stipulations. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Berman moves.
I know there are representatives from the petitioner and the villages of Hampshire and Pingree Grove. I don't know if any other people have signed up to speak, Madam Chair, but if we maybe give the petitioner an opportunity to present to the
Absolutely.
board.
Absolutely. And sir, you'll have a total of 15 minutes altogether.
Okay. Just so you know, we're going to defer our time to the Village of Hampshire to let them have their say on this project. We will speak in response to any issues they raise or any questions that the board may have, if that's acceptable.
It's your choice, sir.
Yep.
Okay. Would a petitioner, or excuse me, would a representative from the Village of Hampshire like to address the board, please?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the petitioner for reserving their time to give me an opportunity to speak. Madam Chairwoman, members of the board, my name is Mike Reed. I am the village president of Hampshire. For those of you who don't know me, Over the last 4 years, I've worked really hard to strengthen our partnership and relationship we have with the county and the county board in particular. As you guys have been the missing piece in the puzzle of progress in our village. So it's meant a lot to me that since I took office in 2021, that we worked hard together to serve our residents and make our region a better place together. So I want to say thank you to all of you for all the work that you do and that you do for our residents, and to please be sure to pass my words on to your staff, because without them, our work would not be possible. So I appreciate that. I often say that difficult conversations define relationships. And believe me when I say I never thought I would be standing at this podium voicing concerns to you like this. I had hoped that, like in the past, we could have had conversations before it reached this point. Still, despite our efforts in trying to create a partnership, no commissioner, board member, or any other staff member has reached out to me at all, not even my own representative of District 9, about the letters or public comments in the previous hearings that we've stated. And it's kind of disappointing. I am here today to add voice to my letters in opposition of the developing of a solar farm at Ranking Road and 72. As stated in our letters, we believe the location is an issue. The corridor is poised to be a commercial/retail development, which will negatively impact the development of the area for years to come. I completely understand and empathetic to the developer in the reasons why they like this location. It is close to a main thoroughfare with public utilities. So the amount of money that will be spent to connect this site to the public utilities is lower than it would be elsewhere. It is also easy to point to the aspect of the topology of this property that make the installation of solar panels a quote better use unquote, as the land improvement needs are vastly different compared to the site work needed for a retail development. I want to be clear. This is not Hampshire, and I'll say Pingree Grove because they are an objector as well. This is not Hampshire and Pingree Grove against solar, green energy, or any other environmental/political argument that we all read about in the papers. In fact, we have a few solar farms either in place or under construction at the current time, just not on major commercial corridors with high traffic counts such as 72. This will create a precedent, even though it is a temporary, quote, 30-year use. This will dictate zoning and use of property in the surrounding area for the next 30 years due to a phrase that we've all heard in every zoning conversation of or like use, quote, and hinder the development of that corridor for at least the next 30 years. Our area is growing. Homes are selling. People are coming to our area despite the current economic conditions. Our residents need services, retail, et cetera. And it's no secret that we all as government bodies could use the revenue from those types of businesses. As I've mentioned a few times, we try hard not to create a precedent that other boards will need to deal with, nor do we try to dictate to other bodies how they should operate or what they should or should not approve. However, in this case, I ask strongly or implore you to think about the precedent being created here, to consider the impact that this will have on our area now, and consider the impact that it will have over the area over the next 30 years. We are and have been willing to work towards a compromise or collaborate on a different concept, maybe try something out of the box. However, no one has attempted to work alongside us. Again, I will leave you with what I started with. Thank you for the work that you do for our residents and for your time and consideration today.
Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Madam Chair, I don't know if the representative from the village of Pingree Grove would like to address the board as well. Oh, I'm sorry.
Kane County Board. My name is Mel Khan. I'm the Assistant Village Manager for the Village of Hampshire. I was present at the Development Committee meeting to provide our objection to the petition number 4654 and 4655. Just to add on to President Reed's comments, As the Development Committee Chair stated, this is identified as a high growth area in county. So the fact that it's already been identified as that, and it's also the petition is not conforming with the King County 2050 comprehensive plan, should be more than enough reason to vote no on this. If it's not compliant with your own plans, there's no reason to approve this plan because it's going to be against it. A special use today, if you grant it, it's going to be there for a lifetime. There is no restriction or stipulation put on the Development Committee or by the Zoning Board of Appeal for just to be a 30-year special use. So this special use will go on for an entire lifetime. So I implore you to vote no on these two petitions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else who would like to speak against this project? Would the petitioner like to address the board?
Thank you. We have actually three people, including myself, that I'm basically here to try to answer specific questions about the project. But we thought it was important at this time that you hear from the landowner who's been trying for a number of years to develop this property with zero interest. And then another member of our team, Mr. Jack Franks, will explain some of the compromises we've made or attempted to make with the Village of Hampshire and changes to our site plan design that we think accomplish some of the goals and some of the issues that have been raised by the village and potentially by Pingree Road as well. Mr. Milne?
Hello, I'm John Milne from Crystal Lake. I am an owner of this property along with 9 others. We purchased the property about, it was close to 30 years ago. I'm also the manager of the property.
Sir, can you get a little closer to the microphone, please?
Sure. So we purchased this property about 30 years ago, and as an investment, and I'm here tonight to say solar is an excellent use for this property today. There is high demand for electricity in this area. I know that firsthand from a meeting with ComEd just a few years ago. They were seeking to get easements for additional power lines through this area. They were looking at this property. They eventually went nearby. They warned of rolling blackouts if they could not get those easements. They went with another property to get them. So there's big demand today. There's much smaller demand for commercial development. And I know that firsthand because I've invested in properties starting with my father, who's been investing in that area for 30 years. In the past 5 years, I've been working quite hard to sell I have sold or have under contract hundreds of acres. Some of these acres have utilities to them. One's in Pingree Grove. It's a 36-acre parcel. I have it under contract now to an investor because 36 acres is too big for commercial development. I could at max find uses for 20 acres. I also I was an investor in a parcel just kitty corner, essentially from this along Route 47, just south of the tollway, 90 acres sold to World Richmond Company. That 90 acres has utilities. There's no development there. Essentially, there are hundreds of acres in this region, much of them being along Route 47, a lot of it having current utilities, and there's just not that much demand for development. There's also no utilities to this property, and there's no realistic plan to get utilities there. So given that, the current use, the use of solar is very good use for today, and the timeline is about 25 years. So I could see an excellent scenario where this is put in 25 years later, there's demand and other properties have been developed. I think this property could go commercial in 25, maybe it's 30 years. I think that's better planning. And so I think this is an excellent use for the property today. Thank you. Thank you all for hearing us all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Boy, I much prefer to be on this side of the table where you guys are today. So like the mayor said, I want to thank you all for your service and your diligence on this. You haven't got an easy job. I've had the pleasure of speaking with many of you, and I really appreciate your openness and your hard work. And I've sat on your side over there, and I know the frustrations that you experience.
Jack, could you
Yes.
say your full
Oh,
name?
I'm
please?
sorry. I'm Jack Franks from Marengo. Thank you, Madam Chair. I know that no one outside of Springfield likes the current law. We can all agree on that, but it is what it is. These projects, though, they not only meet all the state and local requirements, they go above and beyond what is required. On the Rutland East one, and there's two that we're looking at today, the project has been redesigned to allow for the future extension of Sandwald Road from Big Timber Road to Riking Road. And that extension has resulted in a significant loss of acreage originally included in the project in the systematic design. So this project location does not impact the potential future commercial development of the intersection of Illinois 47 and Big Timber Road. We're trying to be good neighbors. I was told by Deborah, we had to talk about being good neighbors, and we really are. They're trying hard here. On the west one, the project has been significantly redesigned to provide additional acreage for any proposed residential or commercial development at or near that intersection. And that redesign, when you saw this new project they put together, it resulted in a loss of nearly 70% of the project system size. They did this because they wanted to be good neighbors, not because they had to, because they had followed everything they needed to with the state, but we were looking far ahead. And we understand the objection. We heard the mayor speak, but we don't believe that those are legitimate objections. The fact is, there's been no significant investment in this site or even a timeline for the future development. There's no utilities there, as you've heard. Right now, it can't be annexed, even if they wanted to. And there are existing gas pipelines throughout the state, which would make it very difficult for any other development. And hoping that there might be development down the road is really not a plan. We don't have that yet. These solar projects are the best use for the sites. And it also gives an opportunity for future development if it does come. And these projects aren't forever, which we all know. We can redo this down the road if necessary. And let's assume in 25 years we want to pull this out. The farmland will be stronger because it's been laid fallow. And if development does come, perfect. It's right there. These developments also are in the right place. It's not like the one near the high school that you voted down. This is in the right place. The petitioners are good neighbors. They've been thoughtful to the needs of the community, and they've left ample room for future development and significantly changed the project at great expense to alleviate any of their concerns. So we respectfully request your support, and we very much thank you again for your service and your hard work here. And if you have any questions on the technical aspects of this, we have Rob, who actually knows what he's doing on these things here, to answer any of your questions. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. I think it's
I
ready for
is
discussion.
there we go.
Okay, I'll try and exhibit some of the knowledge that Jack alludes that I have, but I've been working on these projects from day one. So if there are any specific questions you have about them, I'll be happy to try to answer them.
All right. We have many questions. Mr. Surges first.
Madam Chair, thank you. President Reed, I do want to apologize to you. I have had several conversations on this primarily with Mr. Mayor Zambetti, that I thought those were making their way to you. I apologize if they did not, and I should have reached out directly. I did speak with Mr. Doherty, whose district this is in. I spoke with both of the Frank brothers here at length. And when this originally came, I was against it, and I'm not convinced quite there yet. But Jack, you made reference, that this is the right place for this. I don't know that I agree with that statement, so I don't want it to be an overriding factor that's out here. But the fact of the matter is, and the thing that I'm debating with is, we have this reality that it may be 20 years before development is ready for this area. They are asking for a 30-year lease on this land. Well, do those align? I don't know. My original dissatisfaction with this was I had asked this gentleman right here, is there enough room, or would you consider enough space to allow the commercial frontage on that corner? And the answer at that time was, in fact, a hard no. My understanding, and I'm bringing this up as a question, is that hard no has been softened, and that the plans today allow for that commercial space across the front of that, and then the solar fields would be behind it. Am I fundamentally correct in that assumption?
You are correct in the assumption, but not about this project. The project you're referring to, where I mentioned a hard no, as you put it, was the Big Timber Solar Farm, Route 72 and Big Timber Road. And that one, we have also come back with a revised plan that does allow more acreage on the frontage. That experience, plus this experience, plus the two conversations we had with the Village of Hampshire, and also dealing with the various fire departments and that had their comments thrown in, including even the Village of Huntley. We decided that number one, for the West project, we could afford, we didn't want to, but we could afford to reduce the size significantly, which would free up, as Jack said, nearly 70% of the site for future development. We are not, I want to stress, not a part of the intersection at Rhine King and 47. We are just northwest of that. So there's a little element, a little piece of that road that we don't control.
Do we have a map that and you know what? I am so thankful for this dialogue, because I think I'm talking apples to oranges.
You are.
So I appreciate this. But I don't think that supersedes the notion that, and I appreciate your acknowledgement of it, the dialogue has, in my opinion, led to betterments in what we're bringing forward, such as
exactly
what was a hard no is now a flexible, we have some give and take on this. So, got it. Thank you so much. So if we could pull this up, I would appreciate that, just to calibrate. Okay.
Here it is.
Oops. That is the Rutland East project. That is the one where we still have a significant amount of the property, roughly around 28 to 30%, that is undeveloped by our project along the frontage of Illinois 47. Our landscaping, which was one of the conditions of approval that were recommended by the zoning board and then again by the planning committee, you will see the landscape buffer extended from Big Timber Road south and then around the curvature of our facility, so that anything that is built along the facility or along the frontage will have an element of screening in it between that and our facility. And on the Rutland West project, that one is a little bit different. It's even a more significant amount of room. That is about 70% of it that we've left open.
Hold on a minute, sir. Let's see if we can get the slide.
Yeah. Are we talking about the Rutland East project or the Rutland West project right now?
Rutland East, I believe, is on the one we're talking about, but.
Okay, let's.
Madam Chair, can we talk about one at a time?
Yes. Let's talk about just one.
We will.
I understand. I get confused half the time and you don't want to know what I've done with the acronyms.
They're similar. They're both here. So this is the Rutland West.
That is Rutland West. Our original site plan extended down to the southeast.
Hold that conversation.
Sure.
Let's go back to the first one.
Alfred, what is the green strip there?
Well, wait.
Hold on, check it. Let's do one. This is, no. We're going to go, this was a picture of number 2. Let's go back to number 1.
This is 1.
This is one.
The green line around the northern part of the frontage and that you see on the eastern portion of the frontage is what we use to describe our landscape buffer on all of our site plans. The large green area is the area that is being set aside partially because it is a floodplain in there, and there are some significant questions about what type of development could go there eventually, but that is not our concern. We were trying to allow the market, if you will, to make that decision later down the road.
And Madam Chair, one of my questions on this, and I don't want to sound disingenuous, but in so many of these proposals that have come forward, it has been the owner of the land that was the farming family that owned it, who is looking for generational fulfillment. And that in this particular case, this is not the case. This is an investment opportunity. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Milne, to my knowledge, does not directly farm the property, but it has been in his ownership for any number of years.
Okay.
Yes, Ms. Bates and then Mr. Iqbal.
Will these solar fields be used for community solar?
Yes, community solar by definition is typically limited to 5 megawatt AC or less.
Okay.
Anything over that is typically what they call utility scale. That can go to the hundreds of megawatts.
Okay, so you'll be using these for subscriptions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Iqbal?
Yes, Madam Chair, it looks like it's a bipolar issue. The state has a citing statute which says that we need solar fields to cut down dependence on the foreign oil and to have a cleaner air. And I hear that the population, they say that the area is growing and the demand for services are growing and the demand for electricity is growing. But no one said that we are self-sufficient. We don't need any more. Every village, every city that comes here have zero land allocated to solar field, but they need energy. The question is, what have they done to provide these services to the growth that they are talking about?
All right, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Penesis.
Yeah, hi, Ted Penesis. The southern end of that property, crossing Rhine King Road and then running sort of parallel along Route 47, then cutting over straight east, is that a drainage ditch?
That is, I believe, within I've seen it referred to a couple of different names, Aikens Creek, the south branch of the Kishwaukee River. In either case, there is a floodplain associated with that. There is in all likelihood a drainage ditch or drain tiles in that area as well. Part of our application is that upon approval of the special use permit, we will begin the process of undertaking a drain tile survey for the entire project. It's standard procedure for us. We are mandated under our agreements of the special use permit and also through the AIMA agreement with the state of Illinois to repair or replace any damaged drain tiles that we uncover. That also extends to the decommissioning of the facility in 30 years. At that time, essentially the construction process is reversed. Drain tile could have been damaged or whatnot in that process, or over time, we will have another survey to undertake the repair or replacement of anything that's damaged at that time.
Yes, Mr. Gripe.
Thanks, Madam Chair. So you're getting right at what my question was going to be, John Gripe. If it's a 30-year time frame, I would assume at the end of 30 years, I wouldn't want to stop getting revenue from this project or electricity or anything else. Why wouldn't you just continue to go on for additional time if it's approved? Why can't this continue to be used after 30 years?
I can't answer that with certainty, but the likelihood is that, as with any components, A gentleman was talking about getting his car repaired earlier at the meeting today. You have the cost of repair and replacement of equipment, which would be prohibitive at X point in time. At some point in time, usually between 25 and 30 years, solar facility has exhausted its lifespan and needs to be decommissioned. Could it be re-energized, if you will? Possibly, but that is not a guarantee, and it's certainly not in our plans to do so.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions? Yes, Mr. Tarver.
Tarver here. Just to confirm, the Zoning Board of Appeals unanimously approved this project?
Mr. Williams?
That's correct.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Williams, are we ready to take
I
the
think we're
vote?
ready to call the roll, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, with no further questions, please call the roll. And this is on item number TMP 25-485.
Allen. Arroyo. Bates.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Doherty.
Yes.
Gripe.
Gripe, yes.
Gums. Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Juby.
Juby, no.
Caius.
Yes, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Linder.
Linder, yes.
Molina. Molina, yes. Hennessis.
Hennessis, yes.
Roth.
Roth, yes.
Sanchez.
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman.
Surges, no.
Tarver.
Tarver, yes.
Tepe.
Tepe, yes.
Williams.
Williams, yes.
Young.
Yes.
Passes two
Mr.
nays.
Arroyo has entered the room.
Yes.
May I make a comment, Madam Chair?
Okay, it does, that passes. Congratulations. Yeah. Yes.
To Mr. Surges, I wanted to say that if the best investor in the world comes along, a solar field can be decommissioned. If you find the best investor in the world, it can happen.
All right, well, let's talk about another solar field then. Number 2.
And Madam Chair, if I may, I do want to apologize to Mr. Doherty right now. This is probably the first vote in my tenure that I have voted not in lockstep with the sitting representative from that area. And I had spoken with Gary before this, and I just don't know how to vote for this when I have all the neighboring mayors that we service together asking for us not to. So Gary, you know what, I don't give my word out very lightly, and when I do, I feel badly if I'm going against that. So
Okay.
for what that's worth.
All right, very good. Yes, Mr.
Thank you,
Williams.
Madam Chair. The next item for your consideration is petition number 4655. The petitioner is Robert McNeil on behalf of Rutland West Solar Farm LLC. The property is located at 17N030 Ranking Road, Hampshire. Parcel number 02-19-200-006 and 02-18-400-009. The proposed use is a special use permit on the F farming zoning district to allow for development of a commercial solar energy facility. The 2040 plan designates the property as commerce employment. The objectors were the Village of Pingree Grove, the Village of Hampshire, and an area property owner. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval with stipulations. The Development Committee represented approval with stipulations. I think we're ready to hear again from both the petitioner and any objectors. We would ask the petitioner and the objectors to be mindful that, we've heard a lot of the testimony relative to the prior petition. And so just to only bring forward, if you don't mind, new information on this petition.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, at this point in time, unless there are specific questions about this particular project, I will waive our response at this time in the interest of moving things along. Everything that I've said about the previous project applies to this. The site plan, we think, speaks for itself.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Reed, would you like to address the board again? Okay, thank you. I entertain a motion for approval.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none. All right, we're ready for the roll.
Allen,
Doherty.
Oh, Mr. Doherty? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Cliff just mentioned my name, and I appreciate that, and I accept his answer. I just like to point out that neither the presidents of Piggery Grove or Hampshire, who both have my personal cell phone number, neither bothered to call me and ask me or discuss this at all. So I appreciate Cliff's thoughts on this and the entire boards. I'm just pointing out that no one talked to me. So that is what it is. Thank you for your time.
All right, we're ready to take the roll.
Allen, Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman, Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Gripe,
Gripe, yes.
Gums, Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
No.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Genesis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
No.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young,
Yes.
passes with 2 nays.
All right, very good. All right, that concludes our zoning petitions. I thank you all for sharing your thoughts and wisdom with us. Have a couple of Mr. Once I won't be able to. This is part of. Mr. Roth, I'm going to be turning over items number 25-180 and 181 to you.
No problem.
It's your turn.
Then, 25-180 is a personal voucher in the amount of $827.02. For lodging, meals, and mileage of 433 in tolls. Can I get a motion in a second?
Strathman seconds.
Okay, discussion. Okay, let's call the roll.
I'm sorry, Doherty, hand up.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Dorney. Go ahead.
I appreciate it. I apologize to everybody. I don't see where it is mentioned what this is for.
All right, hang on. Let me get to the next page.
In the packet. Page 625.
It does say, I apologize. I don't see what it is.
I don't see it either.
Transforming Transit Summit.
Is the,
Claire, is there another page?
yeah, go to page. Where's the page?
627.
627. I gotta zoom it up here. It's a little small. It was the State
yeah,
Association of County Legislative Conference.
That is a long ass jammed together name. Okay, I apologize.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, no problem. Okay, any other questions? Yes, Mr. Young,
Where was this held?
Springfield.
Springfield? Is that correct?
Springfield, okay. That's why it's 433 miles. All right. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's call the roll.
Allen,
Aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
Yes.
Berman, Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Gripe,
Gripe, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Aye.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Genesis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surgis, Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
The next expense voucher is resolution number 25-181 in the amount of $116.35. Mileage of 90.5 miles, 6335. Tolls and parking of 47. Okay, can I get a second?
Hennessy second.
Stratman, second. Okay, and then hang on a second. Let me go to the next to get the details. This was a transit summit. Was this down in Springfield too?
No, downtown.
Chicago. Okay, thank you. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Young.
What is Transforming Transit Summit? What is that? Someone know?
I could guess.
Well, let's say, let's allow.
Electric one knows.
Yeah, this is, there's an ongoing consolidation movement between Metra and PACE and another CTA to combine them together and to probably it was a summit to discuss this transformation.
Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Okay, Mr. Doherty, I see you have your hand raised again, please.
Well, I see we have the exact same name
Yes.
on what, a different event? I mean, discussing the same thing, or I don't understand.
Yes, it is a different event. This one happened on April 15th. And the prior one happened March 17th.
Well, yeah, how many events are there for the same thing?
Well, it's two different things.
No, I know. How many more will there be?
Well, that's one of the things we'll decide, especially as we do our budget going forward.
Okay.
Okay, did that answer your question?
Well, not really, but it'll
Okay,
have,
sorry.
it'll have to do.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Surges?
Just procedurally, if, and I guess this is for the state's attorney, and I don't know why I've never noticed this before, but where it says Kareen on there, should it say Roth?
Oh,
In
that's a
terms
good
of
point.
signatures, does that matter at all? If the board approves it, it doesn't matter, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I
the-
just silliness, but
The signature is pro forma. Technically speaking, when you approve stuff, by default, you're having the chairperson sign it. Probably is not the worst thing just for an appearance of impropriety concern to have it changed over for Roth. Believe it or not, you just simply need to cross it out, vice chair, sign your name to it.
Wow.
You want to hear something really sad? Technically, her signature doesn't even account. As long as Jack signs it, that's the only thing that's legally required.
Jack's going. Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out how Jack has 2 law degrees.
You are not the only person that's wondered that, including myself.
Listing.
Point of order, Mr. Williams. Okay, any other questions regarding the $116? Okay. All right, call the roll, please.
Allen,
Allen, aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman, Doherty,
There it is.
Gripe,
Right, yes.
Gums, Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Juby, aye.
Hyas,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Hennessy, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surgis,
yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Seppi, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
passes unanimously.
Okay. And in conclusion, I'll turn it back to Madam Chair.
Thank you and well done. Mr. Doherty asked a question about what's happening with the RTA. There may be future meetings about this. I believe that the decision of the $750 million fiscal cliff is still pending in Springfield. From what I have heard, that they're going to be coming back in June to discuss this matter. If it is not passed, and it truly is a fiscal cliff, there sure you've seen the commercials. They're saying it'll be a 40% reduction in services that will impact Kane County's services as well. There's absolutely no question about that with PACE and Metra. Of course, CTA will be exempt, but if you travel into Chicago and do take public transportation, you'll be hit by that along with the RTA and, well, the RTA with PACE Bus. But they're also talking about governance. And I have fought very hard. The reason why I have been going down and been doing this for the last year, year and a half, is to advocate for Kane County's representation on this potential new board that is being put together. We do not want, as much as I respect Cook County and the city of Chicago, which has most of the transit, I do not want them to dominate this. None of the collar counties want the domination. We want to make sure that we have an equitable voice on the future RTA board. And I've been a very strong voice in representing along with our state senators and our local representatives in ensuring that that happens and working with the other collar counties. So that's why I've been so strongly advocating for this. If you'd like to know more, I'm sure that Tom Rickard would be happy to do this. We have had some opportunities with committees of the whole to talk about this. So it has been brought to your attention several times and can continue to do so, especially as they come closer to making a resolution of what they're going to do to fund this. And I'll say with one more statement, they're actually asking for $1.4 billion, that's billion dollars for additional improvements for the rapid transit system.
Madam Chair, I was going to LA Fitness this morning at 5:30, and I saw a transit bus. One person on the bus.
All righty. So yes, ma'am.
Alan, it's just discouraging to me and disingenuous when someone says, well, we'll combine this group of people and we'll have a smaller group of people and it'll be so much more cost effective and so on. And when you're dealing with such huge numbers and such huge decisions, it just doesn't make sense to me to cut down the number of deciders and make and leave us out. I think that's just discouraging to try and tamp down other voices that would be saying, well, but wait a minute, in my part of the world, this is what's important. So I agree. You're talking about a financial cliff. Well, cutting down the number of people who are going to make the decisions is not going to do that. Thanks for letting me talk.
Okay, so thank you. So that concludes that. Are there any committee updates?
What about new and unfinished business?
I'm sorry, what's there?
You had new and unfinished business?
Oh, no, is there any new and unfinished business? You have one, sir.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes. Last month at the COW meeting, Barry Dunn did a presentation and they're going to be our consultant. And Brian Anderson mentioned that we're paying them $127,000, $150,000, whatever that number is. So they're going to act as a consultant. And I thought during that, I didn't listen to, but I thought that presentation that we were going to have a committee that was going to be put together, or that there was going to be, that they were going to reach out to each one of us and talk to us about our thoughts. And I just wanted to bring that up and see where that is, because our budgets are, it's May, and that's going to be the number one topic I'm sure that we need to do. And I just want to know when they're going to start contacting us and helping us through this process, or is that what they're intending to do? So I guess I wanted to bring that up for discussion.
It would be Paul Kofer, who's acting as our staff member, who's our liaison with this. But from my understanding is I have reached out, and as we speak, email has gone out to all of our elected officials asking them if they would like to participate in being part of this. and they will let us know by Friday, and then we'll have another presentation with Barry Dunn. The strategic plan, however, to the budget issue. The budget issue is going to be part and parcel to this, but this is going to take a period of time for us to get this resolved. It's going to be, once we get it started, let's say we get started in June, a full start, it'll take probably until November to complete this. So just as we're completing our own budget cycle, this will be coming through. So this is going to be for future budget analysis. And once we pinpoint what our strategic goals are, everything is going to be focused and measured upon achieving that strategic goal. So that's why it will be conversed, embedded as we discuss this year's budget, but we will not have the completed data and report until basically we've approved this upcoming year's budget. So it's the timing. But it'll be starting in 2026, and we'll have a 5-year cycle into 31.
Okay.
Okay. It'll be measurable. I mean, we really will measure from now on what our goals and objectives are with real data. And that'll be, I think, excellent opportunity for the full board going forward. Okay, is there anything else, sir? Mr. Young, is that it?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, I thought you went on to committee updates, no?
Oh, are we done with new and old business? Okay.
Committee updates? Okay.
Yes, committee updates.
Tomorrow morning is the admin at 10:30. And we will give updates on the Geneva Creek stabilization project. It is complete. That's the project on our Geneva Creek right out behind our yellow building over here that was seriously eroding. It has been finished. We will do a walkthrough after administration tomorrow at 11:30. So bring on your, well, it's actually in pretty good shape and it's not been raining. So, but who knows between now and then.
It's jinxed.
But it is walkable, and you see how that has been improved with $500,000. And I believe it was 250 from the riverboat, nothing from general funds.
Okay.
So
good.
that's all
Wonderful.
good to go. On another committee, the riverboat fund, we've completed our second round, and we'll be taking those calculations that we do to our executive board for review. So if you have questions about how that process works or anything, please ask anyone on our committee. So that you're not blindsided by what's going to be presented at the executive committee and then at the full board.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Are there any other committee updates? All right, seeing none. May I have a motion and a
I'll
second?
make a motion to adjourn.
10th, 2025.
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor?